You woke up this morning and did something your ancestors could never have imagined in their wildest dreams. You turned a simple handle, and warm, crystal-clean water appeared from absolutely nowhere. You squeezed a tube, put a perfectly engineered chemical paste onto a plastic tool, and cleaned each individual tooth while staring blankly into a glass mirror. You stood under falling hot water for 10 full minutes, without thinking about the massive infrastructure making it possible. And then, despite all of this industrial luxury, you probably still felt a bit sluggish and needed a cup of coffee before you felt truly human. Now take all of that away. No handles, no tubes, no flowing hot water, and no plastic. Just imagine you, whatever the brutal freezing weather is doing outside, and 30 other tribal people who are all dealing with the exact same raw problem of survival. This is what personal hygiene looked like for 300,000 years. And the answer to how ancient humans actually handled their bodies is not at all what you are expecting to hear. Meet Kale, a rugged Ice Age hunter stepping out of a frost-covered stone cave into the bitter morning air. His skin is deeply weathered by the wind. His long, dark hair is tightly braided, and his smile reveals surprisingly strong teeth. How did a prehistoric human, surviving in the absolute wild, manage to maintain a healthy body without a single modern product? Let us start with your teeth, because right now, your mouth contains roughly 700 different species of microscopic bacteria. That staggering number does not magically go down just because you brush twice a day. Brushing simply manages the ecosystem. Ancient hunters had none of our modern tools, yet archaeological skulls reveal teeth in shockingly great condition. A landmark 2013 study published in Nature Genetics analyzed the ancient bacteria preserved in human teeth going back 7,500 years. They discovered that the diversity of harmful, destructive bacteria in human mouths actually increased dramatically right after the agricultural revolution. Before farming, hunter-gatherers ate a highly varied diet of wild roots, berries, and meat. This diverse, wild diet kept the oral bacterial ecosystem perfectly balanced and remarkably healthy. But the moment humans switched to grain-heavy diets, full of refined carbohydrates, the specific bacteria that cause severe tooth decay exploded in numbers. In other words, ancient hunter-gatherers did not have better dental hygiene tools. They simply had much better food. The moment humans invented agriculture and bread, we accidentally invented the misery of cavities. But our ancestors were not completely passive either. They actively used small tree sticks, specifically frayed at one end using sharp stones, to clean between their teeth. These ancient chewing sticks contained natural antibacterial compounds that actively destroyed harmful mouth pathogens. Now let us talk about something that is genuinely difficult for modern minds to process. Body odor. Here is an uncomfortable biological truth that modern marketing hides. You do not actually smell as terrible as you think you do when you skip a single shower. Sweat itself is mostly just water and salt, making it almost completely odorless when it leaves your skin. What truly makes you smell is when specific bacteria on your skin digest the organic compounds in your sweat, producing smelly waste products. These odor-causing bacteria thrive primarily in warm, trapped environments, like wearing the same synthetic clothes for days. Ancient hunters, spending their days outdoors in moving air, had a completely different relationship with smell. They certainly had a natural scent, but the bacterial balance on their skin was fundamentally healthier than ours. Modern research into isolated tribes who have never used chemical soap shows that their skin microbiome is incredibly rich. We have wiped out massive protective populations of beneficial bacteria from our skin through modern soaps and harsh deodorants. Those missing bacteria were actually doing vital work, like regulating skin pH and producing natural antimicrobials against pathogens. Prehistoric humans understood this balance practically. They regularly crushed and rubbed aromatic wild plants like mint, juniper, and sage onto their skin. This kept dangerous insects away while making them smell exactly like the surrounding forest. Hair is where prehistoric hygiene becomes truly fascinating and deeply social. If left completely alone, modern hair goes through a greasy phase because our scalps have been conditioned by commercial shampoos to overproduce oil. Ice Age hunters never started that artificial cycle. Their scalps produced natural oils, calibrated perfectly for a life lived in the wild. This natural oil acted as an excellent waterproof barrier, protecting their heads from freezing rain and bitter winter winds. To manage their hair, they crafted beautiful, functional combs out of animal bone and hard wood. But more importantly, they engaged in a crucial daily behavior that anthropologists call social grooming, sitting together to pick out parasites. Sitting closely with another member of the tribe to clean their hair is an extraordinarily intimate act. It requires absolute proximity, hours of dedicated time, and complete vulnerability. Renowned British anthropologist Robin Dunbar argues that this physical grooming was the original form of human social bonding, long before language became sophisticated enough to take over. It was a vital mechanism that held early human groups together against the terrors of the prehistoric world. When Kale sat by the fire, letting his companion meticulously check his braided hair, it was not a sign of primitive filth. It was a beautiful, necessary demonstration of trust and mutual protection that kept the entire tribal unit functional and alive. The persistent historical myth that ancient humans never bathed is completely wrong and scientifically inaccurate. This misconception seems to stem from a confusion between prehistoric hunter-gatherers and medieval Europeans who avoided water for flawed medical reasons. Prehistoric humans always lived near natural water sources because their survival depended entirely on them. They bathed regularly in cold rivers and pristine lakes as a natural, refreshing part of daily life. What they lacked was modern chemical soap, so they utilized ingenious natural alternatives instead. Fine river sand worked as an excellent mechanical abrasive to scrub away stubborn dirt, dead skin cells, and dried animal blood after a long, exhausting hunt. They also discovered that mixing wood ash from their hearth fires with water created a mildly alkaline solution. This primitive lye was highly effective at cutting through tough animal grease and fats on their hands. Additionally, applying a thin layer of natural clay to the skin acted as a modern detox mask, pulling oils and impurities straight out of the pores. While these natural methods did not offer artificial floral scents, they were more than enough to maintain skin integrity. A body that had never been exposed to urban pollutants did not need harsh industrial chemicals to stay healthy. Their skin remained resilient, protected by nature's own chemistry, keeping them perfectly adapted to the harsh elements around them. We must also address the one topic that everyone wonders about but rarely discusses openly: toilet habits. Prehistoric humans dealt with bodily waste out in nature, but they were vastly smarter about it than it sounds. Multiple archaeological sites show clear evidence of designated latrine areas, specifically located far away from sleeping, cooking, and drinking water. Neanderthals and early humans consistently maintained this vital spatial separation in caves across Europe. Separating waste from living areas is one of the most critical public health behaviors in human history. To understand its life-saving value, we only need to look at a devastating, true historical example from the peak of modern human civilization. In the summer of 1858, London experienced the Great Stink, where millions of citizens dumped raw sewage directly into the River Thames, which also supplied their drinking water. This lack of spatial separation caused horrific cholera epidemics that slaughtered tens of thousands of urban, civilized people. a disaster that our prehistoric ancestors successfully avoided for millennia. Hunter-gatherers avoided these massive sanitation catastrophes not because they had medical degrees, but because they lived in small groups and never stopped moving. Their nomadic lifestyle allowed nature plenty of time to safely decompose organic waste. They remained inherently hygienic because they refused to crowd themselves into permanent, stagnant urban environments. For 300,000 years, humans kept themselves clean enough to survive, thrive, and build beautiful cultures without a single commercial product. Their methods were not primitive failures. They were highly effective biological solutions. The antibacterial twigs and aromatic plants they utilized were sustainable answers to problems we now solve with heavy industrial manufacturing. Your elaborate morning routine today is undoubtedly a spectacular luxury, representing thousands of years of accumulated human engineering. But it is ultimately solving a basic biological problem that our ancestors mastered through deep observation. They survived by paying intense attention to the natural world, knowing exactly which plant protected them and which river cleansed them. The profound lesson here is that our ancestors were never dirty. They simply worked with a completely different, nature-aligned toolkit. True hygiene is not about sterilizing our bodies with harsh synthetic chemicals, but about achieving a healthy, sustainable balance with our environment. We have traded ancestral wisdom for modern convenience, often disrupting our own biology. If all modern plumbing and industrial hygiene products suddenly vanished tomorrow, would you possess the deep ecological knowledge to keep your own body alive and healthy in the wild? Could you read the forest the way your ancestors did for thousands of generations? Tell me what you think in the comments below, and do not forget to subscribe for more deep histories.